Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, and welcome to another edition of Nebraska. Alright, we got a couple going on today. Just finishing off this field right here, this cornfield. Just have our combine emptying out into our Peterbilt 3... It's definitely sliding. I think it's a 389. I have to double check now. Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. 379. Don't know why I thought it was a 389. It's funny, I was reading about, the other day I was reading about Peterbilt for whatever reason, and, it's interesting. Now that that is away, it's not moving. That's strange. I was reading about Peterbilt in Kenworth, and, I think it's Freightliner. And they kind of have an interesting history, actually. Oh, look, there's the camera again. I totally forgot about that. They kind of have an interesting history, actually, between all three of them. And it's kind of interesting to check it out. If you're interested in reading some of the history, definitely read a little bit of it on Wikipedia. Well, I don't know how accurate that is, but it's probably accurate enough to give you a sense of what the company stands for and whatnot. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so we're gonna finish. Hopefully, how far do we have on this field? Oh, quite a bit actually. A lot more than I thought we did. So what we're going to do is this field, we're going to finish up probably, it looks like this pass. So hopefully, that's funny, the better steering does the same thing even when I'm not driving. Is it going to be all? Yeah, this is going to be the last pass. So what we'll probably do is after it finishes this last pass, we'll go ahead and sell a little bit of our corn. And what I was looking at that I thought was kind of interesting was the different prices they have on this map. So the co-op's $437 a ton. Terminal's $951, seed store is $1,900. I think that's the highest. No, there was one more. Biodiesel, it's $2,400. So they all have like slightly different prices, which is nice to have different prices. But it makes you always want to go to the same place. It seems like, I don't know how much they fluctuate, but that's still a crazy amount of money. And I haven't changed it to back to easy, or I haven't changed it from easy to something else. So, and that's primarily just because I just recorded 2 episodes in a row, basically. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that was the reason why I have that, because I've recorded 2 episodes in a row. I don't mind. We'll play on easy this time. I'm not too worried about it. It'll make it progress a lot faster, I imagine. We'll get a little, because we already started off with some decent equipment. We'll be able to progress through some of that equipment relatively quickly, I imagine, at least. So that'll make it a bit. I don't know. It'll change it up a little bit, I suppose. So I'm going to go through a couple of comments from the previous episode. This is episode number... Well, the first episode after the voting episode, I guess. Oh, really going to miss that little tiny bit there? Oh, well. So Bacon Place, he says, I live in Nebraska, so I'm happy. Glad to hear you're happy, Bacon Place. I don't know what Nebraska's like in real life, but based on this map, it seems like a nice place, I guess. Killswitch77 says, when we chop silage, we don't use a tractor in the field, they still drive the truck. Yeah, some places, everyone's a little bit different. Some places they use a truck, some places they use tractors. It depends. I think in North America it's a bit more common to see a truck in the field, but if you go out to Europe, it's not common at all. Mainly that's because I suppose the height of the field, I guess, like the way the inclines and all that jazz, that makes it really difficult to do with a truck. Not impossible, but just difficult. And he says, Killswitch says they just fill directly into the trucks, so. Alright, he says they fill directly into the truck, so I guess it depends on, like he says, depends on where it is. And he talks about he was saying if they do have a tractor, they would put duals on the tractor. Because I was asking about the whether or not people use dual wheels or not for silage. I think that was the reason why. Alright, Bomber Farm says depends on how big and how much, sometimes back duals. Okay, so depending on the situation. I think it seems like it's really depending on the situation. So like if you're from England, like I was saying, or if you're from North America, like let's say Canada for example, you might use dual wheels depending on the scenario. It's different for everybody. Depends on the season, I suppose, too. If it's a very wet season, but you got to get that silage off. I imagine that would be another reason why you'd probably use duals. I know this season for harvesting was pretty rough, so I suppose people busted out the duals. I don't know. Saw a few pictures of combines getting stuck on Twitter when it was harvest season. It was kind of interesting. A couple people trying to do things they probably shouldn't have tried to do. Isn't that always the case? Alright, so what I will do, I think, is I bet I can't run through that sign. I'm just guessing. What I'll do is unfold the header here. And I think what we'll do is we'll take a little turn here like so, and do a little strip off this end. Like we did the other field. There we go. Turn it around here. We'll do a little strip on this end. Open it up a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll just hire a worker from there. And it should be fine. Now the one thing that's going to be a little concerning is the dip in the middle of the field, and whether or not this tractor's actually going to be able to do it or not. That's going to be kind of interesting, because depending on the tractor, or depending on the combine I should say, some combines have a lot of problems with dips in fields. Like if you look carefully, it dips right down in here, like there's a big low spot. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to handle it. Maybe it'll be fine, I don't know for sure. Maybe it will be atrocious, who knows. But as far as I can tell, it's a little bit, it's going to be interesting. Alright. Lee Humphrey says, nice video. Though next time, could you please take out the better steering mod when using the steering wheel? While using the keyboard, that mod makes my head spin. Yeah, I totally understand, Lee. Did you? That's funny. I just said totally understand, Lee. So it sounded like I said Stanley. Anyways, yeah, I realized that after the fact, but I'm like, I just wanted to get it done because I had a rough day. So I was like, I need to finish this up. So didn't want to fiddle with mods or anything like that. I did enough fiddling that day in terms of trying to figure out some stuff on the computer that went awry or haywire, you could say. So I just wanted to make sure I got an episode out for you guys. So that's the reason why I did that. Otherwise, I wouldn't normally. My steering wheel wasn't hooked up, so it was strange not to have the steering wheel hooked up. That's for sure. It's like ever since I've gotten it, basically, it's been plugged in for the most part. Like I haven't really unplugged it much. I think I unplugged it once because I had some guests over that needed to use the computer, and I unplugged it the other day because I had some computer troubles I wanted to figure out. And that's the only reason why, really. Other than that, it's been plugged in, 24/7, so to speak, which has been nice actually. Because the main games I tend to play right now Euro Truck a lot of the time, and I tend to play Farm Sim, which both can do the steering wheel, so it's not a big deal. Although if I were to play, like, let's say Minecraft, that would be slightly more annoying, and I definitely would have to take the wheel out. Although, maybe, I don't know, depending on the mod pack, you might be able to work it in there. Maybe. I think it's Flan's weapons pack or something like that for Minecraft. It has, like, tanks and stuff like that. I don't think it's really set up for steering wheels, but you never know. What I would like to see from Giants in the near future is more support for peripherals. That would be really nice. Like the way this game handles peripherals versus like Euro Truck is completely different. It's ridiculous. I couldn't believe like with Euro Truck you can set up your keyboard, or you can set up your steering wheel or other peripherals as well. Like as I mentioned before, the Derek Spears button box, the P1 button box, that thing is really cool. But this game wouldn't even work with it, I don't think, which is a bit of a shame considering how cool it is. So it'd be nice to see more support for it, but I don't know if maybe it would work. I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion it probably wouldn't, but let's give the Giants the benefit of the doubt and think it will. I don't know. So, alright, that's good enough. Get this last little bit over here. What's the best way to approach this field? It doesn't make a difference. So what we'll do is we'll take out this little section here, and then we'll hire a worker. But it would be nice to see some better support. Like, it's really strange. I don't know why it is, but like, if I don't set up like a, what do they call it, a macro for the keys, they don't seem to work very well with the game. Which is kind of strange. Like, I can't just like press the button and it recognizes it automatically. Whereas with Euro Truck, that's exactly what happens. Like, you just press the button, it's like, boom, done. But this game, not so much. Alright, tire worker there, let him do his thing. Perfect. And let's hop into the semi here and take the handbrake off. And what we'll do is we'll go grab some more corn. What are we at? 8:45? Maybe what we'll do is we'll wait 15, well, we'll progress time 50 minutes in the game. And then what will happen is, by waiting 15 minutes in the game, we'll be able to top that, and then we can do a couple loads of corn. And then we'll get the most bang for our buck, so to speak. Because I can't believe corn's worth so much. As I said a few times already, this is on easy, so I didn't realize how much of a difference the price would make, but oh well. This is a pretty cool little feedlot here, and depending on how much money we get, actually, we might be able to get a new tractor in order to cut some grass for some cows. That would be kind of cool. Alright, so is this the area? I believe it is. Oops. Totally missed that turn. Alright, let's just take it in here. I don't know why, but I have a hard time with making turns in this game in comparison. Because you're a truck, you're always in here, I guess. Start filling, yes. So how much do we actually have? Oh, we don't have that much corn. I thought we had a lot more. Oh, then. I suppose I should have fertilized first. So going back to Lee's comment, yeah, I'll have to try and remember to do that next time, because that was pretty crazy. I love GTA says we only use duals for silage if it's muddy. Otherwise, we use duals for seeding, cultivating, and plowing. Yeah, that makes sense, for more traction and less compaction, so to speak. Randy says, other than my voice sounding a bit different, it sounds good to him, which is good to know. Thanks for letting me know, Randy. Much appreciated, sir. Maybe you don't like being called sir. I know some people are really particular about that. They're like, don't call me sir. Usually those people are like people who have been in the military. Like, I know Iain hates to be called sir. Although I do it all the time by accident. Because when I just say, you know, thank you, sir, like, you know, say something like that, and that's what happens. It's just like that. I'll say thank you, sir, and then I'll get myself in trouble because he's like, don't call me sir. It's happened more than once on TeamSpeak, let's say that. Letters from Helen asks, it's an interesting name. Letters from Helen asks, what version of the map I'm using? There's no fences around the fields. That's because I took the fences out. I did that in Giants Editor. That's the reason why. There's no fences around the fields. Matt says normally you wouldn't. This is why you don't drive in text. You can just see how terrible I'm driving. Where am I going here? Am I going to the right place? Nope. Yes I am. We're going to take out a couple pedestrians while we're at it. Alright, let's take a little bit of a UE here. No one saw anything. There we go. Alright. So, where was I? Matt says normally wouldn't use duals for much for silage unless it's really, really muddy. And even that would be kind of different in some scenarios, I imagine. So, this right here, I believe, is the biogas biodiesel plant. Bomber Farm says this is the map I voted for, so he's happy about that. Serious Gamer says we do silage here at 4 AM, and I asked him why, because I'm kind of curious why exactly we do silage at 4 AM. I suppose there is a reason why, but I don't know what that is. So, I suppose this is there appears to be 2 tipping spots. And this must be the one I need to use in this scenario. So I guess what happens is, let's just see if I drive forward a little bit further. It should get to the tipping point, tip trigger, soon, or if not now. Why isn't it there? Unless I missed it by accident. That's possible. I was chit-chatting and looking at my cell phone, so... Maybe that's the case. Let's just see here. I didn't think I was that far off. Maybe I was that far off. Alright. Let's just see if that was the case. It's entirely possible. Strange things have happened. Alright, so let's go right over the center. That should be fine. Maybe I just missed it. It would, if corn wasn't accepted there, I would have got the corn's not accepted here. Yeah, it definitely looks like... No, there's definitely a trigger there. That's weird. Maybe this is for silage then? Or let me get out of there. That's weird. What the heck is going on there? Alright, take a little turn around. Maybe try from the other side. That's strange. I hate when stuff like this happens. It's such a simple thing to fix in Giant's Editor, but it's so annoying when you're actually in game. Because you're like, hey, how about that tipping point that I wanted to go to? Or maybe corn's not accepted there, but I should get a little indication saying, hey, corn's not accepted here. So okay, let's try and back up in that area, and maybe that's where we need to dump it, but that doesn't really make much sense. But we'll try it anyways. Alright, now let's see if I can do this without screwing up. I'm already screwing up. It's funny because in Euro Truck it's so different because you can actually see in your mirrors. In this I have to like do it in this way. And I don't know if you can hear me like slowing my speech. It's because I'm trying to concentrate without screwing up. Alright, there we go. That was not really as good as I would have liked. That's a bit odd. Wonder what's up with that. Can I not do... Like, it distinctly says, hey, you can... Arrgh. Maybe it's not registered? I don't know. I haven't... Maybe I do have the wrong version or something. Why am I turning so much? I don't need to turn that much. Alright. Let's try this. Not getting the tip thing still. That's silly. Where the heck is that trigger? Yeah, it's right here. But what's maybe... Oh, what? Okay, so that might be the reason why. So, okay, so this is obviously the reason why it's not working. So what's happened is because this is part of the biogas plant, I actually don't own this yet, and that's why I can't drop anything off here. Interesting. So because of that, I can't start this up, and I can't put corn in here, so I can't make, I can't do that. And if that were the case, I guess I could only put, I suppose I could only put something like 50,000 liters in there, which is kind of frustrating. Alright, well what's the next best thing? ADM. Seed store, 1979. And what was the other one? 1979. Whatever's closest then. Okay, let's close this. So yeah, that's the reason why this is probably not working, is because this is part of the BGA and I can't drop that off unless I actually own it. But let's do a quick little test here. What's the name of that field there? 15. Page up, page down. Well, that's gonna be bad. Next field. No. If I do that right now, it is going to do something. It's going to stop the recording. Is what it's going to do. Because right now I have that set as my keys, so I'll have to avoid that. I was going to sell, so that's probably the reason why that doesn't work. It's nothing to do with the map. It's just because that's part of the BGA, and normally, if you didn't have the BGA extension, it would you'd be able to do that, no problem. All right, so where am I? Lumberyard, cows, where's the seed store? Small farm, lumberyard, ADM. I guess ADM's the place to go. Co-op is not worth it because the co-op is really, really low if memory serves. Yeah, not worth my seed store or the ADM. Where the heck is the seed store then? Where's the seed store? No idea. Alright, I guess we're into the ADM then. Alright, sorry for that little diversion. I couldn't figure out the reason why that wasn't working, and I realized the reason why it's not working now. And that's because I have the BGA extension installed. So I guess that because that's considered part of the BGA, that's the reason why I can't unload there. As far as I can guess, I should be able to do that no problem if I didn't have the BGA extension installed. So keep that in mind. That's a pretty big loss for on my part, though. That's like 1,000. No, it's like 500. That sucks. Oh well. I guess that'll be a perk once I actually get that. I was going to see if I could use the sales manager from Upside Down to see if I could sell the field that I'm not using at the moment. We didn't want that sign anyways. To see if I could sell the field maybe, but the problem probably going to run into there is my recording button right now is up, page down. So I set it to that because I was just trying a different button, and now I've run myself into a problem. We're like, oh, I can just sell the field, and it's probably worth it too. Let's just check to see how much this field's worth while we're right here. Yeah, so I probably could have sold that field, and look at that, continued on. I probably could have sold that field and been able to buy the BGA, but oh well, next time I guess. So here we are at the ADM. Going to sell this load of corn and see how much we get. So slow down here a little bit. Well, I was trying to slow down, and didn't slow down enough apparently. Alright, so there we go. And we should be able to sell here. So what I'm going to do is accelerate time just a wee bit, just so it's the top of the hour, and so if I want to sell more, it's not going to be a problem in-game. And done. Perfect. Alright, let's go back to normal time then. Alright, so now we should be able to sell stuff here. Let's find out. The survey says yes. Thank goodness. Alright, so we have $57,000 right now. Let's see how much we get with this. So it's not quite sold any yet, but 57, so we're at 10 grand already. 20 grand coming up in 30. Yeah, we're gonna make a lot of money. Let's just say that. So we started at $57,000. Just as a reference point, folks. $57,000. So we made $100,000. We will easily. Oh well, guess we can buy a new vehicle now. So this will make this progress a little bit quicker, I suppose. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys really want me to play on hard, I can easily change it. It's not a big deal. But for now, we'll just leave it on easy. Wow, that was a silly amount of money. That is ridiculous. Alright, let's take this little exit here. It's funny, you can have this, so with this motion right here where you turn and the camera turns, you can actually have the same thing in Euro Truck, which is kind of interesting. Perhaps that's where that idea came from in the first place, I don't know for sure, but it's very possible. So, alright, Milan Obrenovic says facecam, question mark? Facecam's not working. My webcam's being finicky with this new system. Everything's being finicky with the new system, apparently. So because of that, I have not used the facecam much. Even when I tried the live stream the other day, I didn't like it so much, so that is the reason why there. Hopefully I'll get it working properly for the near future. Sid says you should do a video for how to set up your wheel. He says he wanted to play with his wheel, but it didn't get to work properly. I actually followed Chris7710's videos on how to set up my wheel. It's not too bad, but it's different for every wheel. Like this one is a G27, so you will definitely need to use four-wheel drive and diff locks and everything, including don't text and drive, and everything on some of the maps, is what Edward says. Very true, Edward. He says, I have enjoyed the Nebraska map more than the Texas map. I'm a big fan of flat maps. I think I have enjoyed the Nebraska map more than the Texas map, and I'm a big fan of flat maps. Okay, cool. Oops, apparently we hit a telephone pole. Oops. Alright. Again, that's why you should be careful when you text and drive. You shouldn't text and drive at all, actually. It's very bad. In Ontario here, you can actually get demerit points off your license if you do it. Chris says, I use duals for everything. Pretty cool. Scott says they use duals for the 8220 and the 8310R John Deere's. Cool. Fast Dude says, great video. Thanks very much, Fast Dude. Gotta find out where I'm going here. I am heading north. Crike666 says, heard no real audio problems. That's good to hear. It seems like that was just on my side. I don't know why that was the case though, but when I tested it, there was problems, but apparently it's not a problem for anybody. So, okay, which is good. I'd rather there be a problem on my side, and it seems like there's a big problem, but really there's not. Jacob says he likes the map. Can I have a link? So I gave him a link. You can get this map on American Eagle Modding. That's where I got it from. You do need to sign up for that website, so there you go. Use duels for the back of silage. So yeah, that's what Jake says. Jake says use this duels, just the back duels for silage. Unfortunately, like I said to him in the comments, this particular tractor, that tractor I'm referring to, you could only use duels either all or nothing, basically, which is unfortunate. It'll be curious to see how Upside Down incorporates dual. Sorry, I've been driving in cab the whole time. Didn't realize. Let's get out of the cab for you guys. So that's what happens. I'm just like, just nonchalantly driving around. I have to try and remember to stick out of the cab a little bit more often. Let's go, actually, because we're not going to have enough. Where is that combine? I think it's somewhere down here. Imagine the John Deere's trying to go up the hill. That would be my guess, at least. This feedlot's really cool. They're all dairy cows, mind you, but it's still pretty cool. Where did this go? Oh, that's a bit of a drop off there. Yikes. So he's probably stuck in... Oh, well. Not quite. Okay, well, I guess we'll drive in there then. Or I guess we can't now. Yeah, let's go unload this combine, and then we'll take care of that John Deere. Alright. Guess we'll drive up this little hill here. It's only a little hill, right? A big truck like this would be able to do that? Yeah, not so sure. Alright, so let's go grab this corn up here. So what we'll do is we'll try to just buy a new tractor. Now, I didn't realize, actually with one more load of corn, basically, we could easily buy the BGA. Or almost, actually. We should be able to make our money back, actually, because we'll get an extra $500,000, well, 500 per ton, which is crazy. Alright, so that guy's unloading. Let's go hop into the John Deere, just as I suspected. He is being silly. I don't know why that... It's just a little tiny little spot. It's a big problem for this guy. There we go. Oh, wow. That's weird. It's like there's something there. Like, you could drive over that little spot and like as if there's something there, but really there's not. Alright, we'll do this for a bit. Sure, why not? Let's bring down the cruise control down to 11 and follow along. Nice. It's fine. This tractor from a distance looks alright, but as soon as you get closer, just little things. Little things that bother you. Will bother me at least. Maybe not you guys. After seeing what Euro Truck looks like, and considering how old that game is and how gorgeous that game is still, I'm waiting for Giants to take it up another level. Like, this game in comparison to 2013 is a big jump. And like the in-game stuff looks gorgeous, but mods, could do some work still. All in due time. Alright, so folks, I think that we'll call it there for today. Let that guy do his thing, and we'll let this guy... Let's get out of the way of this guy first. Seems like he won't have a problem, but you never know. It's weird, it goes flat there. There's like a little hill back there. It's weird. Alright, so he'll be doing that, which will be good, and we'll hopefully make it a little bit more money, and we'll be able to sell some... yeah, we'll be able to sell some stuff. We'll see. Alright, folks, my name's Iain. Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2015, coming at you from Nebraska. Catch you guys later.